Disney is in an absolutely horrible position. And that's a good thing for us, unless you're woke. But even then, you're probably not watching any of the woke Disney stuff that's coming out. And this one is going to be interesting. Mike makes things up like there's no tomorrow. He has really good fantasy. But this time, he's probably honestly right about the fact that Disney is going to fire people. Because, well, after everything that has happened, after some people that Disney has actually hired to deal with a couple of things, this seems like this most likely will really happen.
So Bob Iger, we all know that he is the leading cause as to why we have witnessed multiple box office failures continuously throughout all of 2023 from all divisions over at Disney. One of the big ones, by the way, being Walt Disney Animation Studios with their latest movie called Wish. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new.
Do we know that he's the leading cause of all these failures, honestly? Remember Bob Iger at the start? Oh, Bob Iger is an absolute G. He's gonna save Star Wars. He's gonna save everything. Yeah, look at where that got you. Next thing you're gonna hear from those exact same people is that, oh, Kathleen Kennedy was actually one of the good ones. She actually fought for a good Star Wars. Yeah. Nice. Keep that spirit up.
And like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, the thing about Bob Iger is that we know that this man lies continuously. He will say whatever he has to say to get butts in the theater seats and to also get people to sign up for Disney Plus.
That's true. I mean, he's a CEO. What did you expect?
To watch Marvel, Star Wars, or whatever other kind of content that they have on there. So we know that Bob Iger, at the same exact time, he is denying and really kind of trying to divert from any kind of talk that Disney is going into a very dark phase for 2024 and really making it public about what he thinks that the
losing more than $2 billion and actually understanding that there's a problem slowly, well, they don't understand that there's a problem. They're admitting something's wrong, but they don't exactly know what. And remaking things now? Well, yeah, I guess.
Years to come are going to be very successful for Disney. That's his viewpoint on things. Regardless of the number of people ditching Disney Parks, Disney Plus, ESPN, Hulu, whatever it may be, any kind of business model out there. Now, what's even all the more interesting has a lot to do with what has been going on with this movie Wish, the box office collapse surrounding it, and its impact at, of course, Disney as a whole. Let's get into the latest. Now, one thing about Bob Iger is that we know that...
Wait, is he gonna blame everything on this movie? What about the last 3 woke movies and catastrophes that have happened? The Marvels just came out, and they were creating a record for the worst box office opening for anything Marvel ever done. Oh yeah, the Marvels broke records, but in the bad way for Disney, and in the sense that they made the least money ever. This is crazy, and Disney understood that. Disney pushed that thing back 15 times. Snow White, baby. Oh yeah, Rachel Zegler. That's gonna get shafted. And now I'm hearing about a thing that I have never... I don't even know what this is. What I don't know what this is supposed to be.
This guy is definitely worse than Bob Chapek. I will actually stand by my opinion on that, and I've put that out there several times as to why I believe so. But I think that this is another prime example of how reckless Bob Iger truly is. Let's get into this. Now, with Disney actively focused on their usage of DEI and ESG into their endless projects for the future with Marvel, Star Wars, and Disney.
ESG? Wait, what do you mean, usage of ESG? I mean, yeah, ESG is definitely a part of it. Dude, if you think companies don't want that sweet inclusion, diversity, and whatever the ESG stood for, you're wrong. Okay, Disney wants that money, especially now that they're very literally collapsing to a degree.
Disney movies. One major development has to do with new truths behind Bob Iger's recent actions of firing tons of employees at, of course, Walt Disney Animation Studios after the recent Wish box office failure. As it turns out, both Bob Iger and the board of directors recently fired multiple employees from every department within Walt Disney Animation Studios. A large chunk.
Animation Studios? This is the first time I hear about this. I thought that this is gonna be about the stuff that's happening with the other parts, because Disney did hire someone who has a literal track record of being hired in companies that have gone too woke to start fixing things by firing certain people. That's this is completely new to me. I had no idea any of this was happening. I have not heard about any of this stuff. This is completely out of the blue for me.
Of the firings, as it turns out, involved animators. After the box office collapse of Wish, which of course was Iger's last saving grace for it.
Yeah, this sounds like a blatant, kind of obviously stupid lie. The animators have nothing to do with the collapse of the movie. If the animation's good, then it's good enough. Like, who cares? Why would you fire animators? It makes no sense. It's like blaming the fact that the Marvels was bad on the kid whose job is to get cafe latte smokamachinos to Brie Larson. I could do that for free, by the way, Disney. Just saying, I'm the man for the job, okay? I would make Brie Larson happy in every way, and you wouldn't even have to pay me. But I would still love to get paid, though. But, just saying, I'm the man for the job, okay?
A 2023 success at the box office. However, it goes beyond that. Many animators and those associated with Walt Disney Animation Studios were also fired.
That's the look of a man who just heard something absolutely vile, stupid, completely false, wrong from a person that he hates, by the way. And he can't say anything because that would be bad. I want to know what's happening, and someone needs to explain to me what this is, because I have seen this before. I have seen this picture before, and this is exactly that. He is hearing something foul. Oh boy.
For standing up against Disney's push for their usage of DEI and ESG into future animated films. The biggest ones of all, including Frozen 3 and a potential fourth film and beyond, that is going to double down on these agendas moving onwards. To make matters even
you know why Mike's videos are actually so successful? Because he makes stuff in a believable way, It's like, yes, Disney and animation. What can I add? Well, how about I just add that there's making something new and big? Or maybe it's something that has already been done, but needs a sequel, like Frozen or something like that. This is why he's really successful with this, because his lies are, I guess the average person just buys them, right?
Worse, Iger's plan to fire employees across the board at Walt Disney Animation Studios also comes in part of his cost containment plan to spend less and make less with their upcoming projects.
Oh, cost containment plan? Man, Mike's on fire. Cost containment plan. Dude, that is so random. That is so random. That's what you say if you don't know how businesses work, but there's no plan. It's called just cost reduction, dude. Just use the word cost reduction. Okay? That involves the plan, that involves the firing, that involves everything, okay?
And their full slate of animated material that is getting reworked right now before a major announcement comes in 2024.
Major announcement.
Now, additionally, on top of all of these reasons, Iger also fired many writers and directors that have worked on past projects at that studio that were set to return for other films that are currently aimed to become major blockbusters. They too are fired and let go as a result of Iger wanting to shift away from certain groups of creators to bring on.
Has this happened, though? Let me Google Disney firing animators 2023. Up 20. I wrote in 2033. 2023. Exclusive Walt Disney Pixar targets Lightyear returns. Disney Layoffs 2023. Walt Disney Pixar Animations. July the 5th. Yeah. July the 3rd. What year is it even now? I don't know. Walt Disney. Okay, so they let go 70, eliminates 7,000 jobs and slashes 5.5 billion in costs. And what year is this? Yeah, it's July the 3rd. Well, July hasn't been for a while, so this is actually not even new news, huh?
On board new and unfamiliar writers and directors to handle at least 60% of animated projects in the future to reduce spending on the creators handling these movies. Now, this all comes in the wake of the box office fallout for Wish. Iger is also preparing to make an official statement about his revamp of Walt Disney Animation Studios by the first quarter of next year to share new details on what is going on with that process. Now, before I get to the next big conclusion here about all of this...
Wait, does that logically track? Let me listen to that again.
By the first quarter of... Iger is also preparing to make an official statement about his revamp of Walt Disney Animation Studios by the first quarter of next year to share new details on what is going on with that process. Now, before I get to...
Nah, it does logically track.
The next big conclusion here about all of this is that this is another prime example of how careless and reckless Bob Iger truly is. Do you guys agree with me? I sure hope so, because I think that this is another example of him just letting go of people for no particular real legitimate reason, when it's really all Disney's problem at the end of the day. It's not the animators, it's not the creators' problem. It never really was their problem.
Yeah, you see, he kind of understands these things. Say what you will, but Mike does understand basic life better than the basic person.
In fact, a lot
of... so it's not hard making this stuff up. Man, how do you not get... The problem with doing this is, how do you not get bored? I mean, I would be bored about after 3 days of making random stuff like this up. Gotta hand it to him. The guy's grinding like hell.
Those associated with Wish are against Disney's nonsense, as surprising as it may seem. Now, sure, you're gonna have some employees over there, of course, that support Disney's nonsense. That's just a given. But Wish, you had a lot of animators that were just fed up with Bob Iger's nonsense moving onwards with Frozen 3 and 4 and other movies as well that were going to have a similar animation style to Frozen. We have more to actually discuss about that in the days to come. And...
okay, I understand that, you know, for an animation movie, the animation is important. But for an animation movie, the plot is still the most important thing, okay? In the anime community, everyone always talks shit about, you know, the 3D thing, because it looks like shit most of the time. But guess what? When something that is good is 3D, no one actually cares. They say, yeah, it's 3D and it looks bad, but it's still awesome and you should watch it. You know? So the animation is not the most important thing. It's the story, it's the everything.
We all know that Disney's major flaw right now is how they try to come across as overconfident, right? They're losing all this money. They are bleeding money by
not at all,
each
but
week.
Okay.
Every single month, it's getting only worse for Disney.
Oh, I mean, no, not at all. Not the fact that they're not losing money. They have lost billions already, and that's not a joke. My voice. But it's a no in the sense that I'm pretty sure Disney is not sending the signals of, oh, we're overconfident and we're confident in ourselves. Quite the opposite, in fact, maybe.
When it comes to these box office failures, and Bob Iger will do anything he has to say to make it seem like it's either because of sequels or it's because of fatigue or it's because
That's true.
of
That's
perhaps, something related to the story, but in reality, it's all the agenda-driven nonsense and the lack of putting in quality material. Now, when you look at the movie Wish, I think the major takeaway here is how poor the animation looks. I don't know about you guys, but the animation looks awful. It looks like something out of an ad, or
Looks like something that Kathleen Kennedy would be directly responsible for, by the way.
something that could have been spruced up in about a week or so for, some kind of commercial or something around those lines. There's something about that style that just comes across as very lazy and pretty much,
Something that comes off about this lazy is the obvious fact that our heroine is black, first and foremost of all. Because, let me tell you right now, I have no idea what Wish is supposed to be. But let me tell you right now, the original script was probably not black, and then Disney saw it and said, make her black and gay and put a chick in it. And there you go.
out of touch with Disney's legacy. So, moving onwards here, surprisingly, there were plans for a Wish sequel where many of these employees were supposed to return for that project until it was axed completely before their firing due to Disney holding a
Okay, now he's just making that up. How would you know that there's a sequel planned for something that hasn't even been out and is flopped instantaneously? Yeah, that's just random.
lack of confidence in the Wish movie way back in October, as it turns out. Now, Disney originally wanted to make Wish into the next big thing and to become just as big as Frozen. And for sure, this was a serious.
To be fair, everything Disney or any other studio releases, they wish that it does become as big as the biggest thing possible. It's kind of makes sense, you know? If you make something, you wish that it becomes big.
Miss on Disney's part. The marketing team at Walt Disney Animation Studios is also.
Anyway, I feel I'm done because yeah, this is just crazy. Anyway, this was Quizzer Said. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And have a nice day. This was our boy Mike Zero. What a time to be alive, man. 10 out of 10. By the way, look at this. Do you think this works? He does it for every video. He adds this green line to attract attention. I don't think it works. It's just so random. I mean, everything he does is kind of random, but still, a good quality entertainment, as one might say. Anyway, this was Quizzer Said. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.